Collin, I asked you to be a co-host on the
Yes.
podcast.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Yes, I couldn't think of anyone better, and I know that the viewers will is gonna love it because, I mean, the clip has been doing well. You bring so much to the podcast, and it takes a lot of work off me because I don't have to search for Collin every week.
Right,
Collin
right.
Collin is here, and we're doing this together, and we're in it 50-50, and
Yeah,
that's how I want to do it. Uh,
yeah.
so with that being said, episode 2, Friday, happy Friday. What does your week look like? How was your week, etc.?
The week was good. A lot of a lot of work, not necessarily 9 to 5 work, but a lot of just working on trying to be the best version of myself that I can be for the people around me and the people that I interact with on a daily basis.
Yes, it's like that saying: if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I I refrain from using the word work at any point because it implies I'm doing something I don't want to do, and I
Right.
try to reframe it. So I think we need a better word for it.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I'm out here every day chasing purpose is what I'm doing.
Okay. Okay. That's not bad. That's pretty good off the cuff. That's
Yeah.
not bad. But a chase would imply like you haven't caught it yet, you
That's
know?
true. That's
And
very true.
I think you've caught it personally.
Yeah.
I know you
Living
have.
in purpose. That's what I'm doing. I'm
What is it?
living in purpose. Living in purpose.
Okay, okay. Exploring my meaning.
There you go.
I got it. We're creating so many good thread bios right now. I
Right.
mean, we're gonna see this all over. Okay. Uh, so we brought up right before we went hit record. We brought up parenting, and I wanted to ask you about that. And this is someone I do not have any kids. Colin, you have a daughter. What is the best thing about it? What is the worst thing about it?
Man, I would say the best thing about it is it gives you sort of, you become an observer of how life creates itself and happens and sort of the way that you go through life. Obviously when you grow up and you're an adult, you can think back to what your childhood was like, but you can't necessarily live there. And having a child, especially, I'm a girl dad, so it's a little bit different, obviously from when I was growing up, but um, you get to really see how things affect sort of the way that you've become an adult. So, for my daughter personally, I recognize in some moments of maybe where I may be frustrated and my parent would have said something or done something in a certain way, I'm able to become an observer of how it affected me and then act better so she doesn't sort of grow with the same stuff
Yes.
attached.
Yes, the stuff, the bad, yeah.
Right. But I
I,
think the
we say
hardest
bad,
thing
but yeah. What? Yeah, the hardest thing.
is knowing that no matter what you do, there will be something that inevitably affects them in a way that you did not intend or you did not hope
Right.
for, and
Yes.
navigating your own emotions surrounded by the fact of I'm going to do everything I can to the best of my ability, and inevitably there will be something that does not go right, and you sort of have to accept that as a parent that
Yes.
you while you are in control of your reactions and the way that they're being raised and the things that you do together, you're not in control of the way that their brain perceives them or their body perceives them, whether it's happiness, sadness, joy, fear, those
Or
things.
anyone else. All the other millions and billions of people that you don't have any say over.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, my daughter's in school, and I often think to myself, sometimes she comes home from school and she got great facts. And, the other day she came home and she told me, "Did you know that they put dead people in pyramids?" And I was like,
No, I
"They
didn't know
do,
that. That's
you know?
amazing.
Right.
You
But then
did
other
you knew
times,
that?
right, there's other times that she'll
Wow.
come home and she's, sort of saying, "Oh, well, so and so said," and I'm like, "Yes, so and so said, but you don't have to say, you know?
Rejection sensitivity, yes. Yeah, that's
Right,
someone
right,
else's book and no one's buying it. It's sitting on the
right,
shelf. Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Exactly.
That is so, dude, that is so powerful. I found the right guest, or I found the right co-host, excuse me. I found the right guest who turned into a co-host.
Right,
It's kind of like how you want every first date to become, second, third, fourth, fifth.
right,
Uh,
right.
wow. So you touched on so much there. I had 42 ideas come in, and now that
Yeah,
they've left, they've gone out. But uh, I think that what you touched on about how you can't we set up this perfect life. I feel for ourselves, for our kids, and perfect is nothing without imperfect, and the world is imperfect. So it's almost like you do have to kind of be a parent, guide them, but when the imperfect comes to, I guess, almost step back and let the child or the kid navigate it, because they're going to have to. We're not always going to be there, and it reminds me so much of taking medication to regulate your nervous system. It Yes, it stabilizes you. It really gets you. It can bring back coherence, but it will quickly turn to a dependence or a reliance. And I think focusing on you and the individual to regulate is the best way to do it, because you're always going to have you. There's no
yeah. I
offshoot.
experienced that in my own life. So I grew up with a mother who was a bubble wrap parent, essentially. Any tear or any injury or anything was met with extreme emotion and coddling. And
Hmm.
while it made me really secure in my relationship with my mother, as an adult now, there are some times where I have found it tough to not be coddled in some situations
Yeah,
because of, growing up that way. So I have tried my best, and obviously it's tough, especially, when you're raising a little girl, to not consistently coddle and hug and kiss away the hurt. What I'm trying to do now is help her understand what she's going through or the emotions that she's having, and then allowing her the space to process it in a way that makes sense for her. Because it would be
that's
very easy for
beautiful.
me to
Yeah,
hold and kiss and love on her in moments that she's frustrated or
right.
angry.
That's the easy
But
way out.
then
That's the easy way. Yeah.
then she'll sort of expect that in life, that when she gets frustrated, people will fold and just coddle the emotions. And I want her to be strong and independent and realize that life is not always going to be fair, but there's a way that we can deal with the unfairness of life that doesn't involve hiding from it, really, is I think, you know.
Yes, that's perfect. Again, I wanted to jump in so bad because you touched on so much good stuff there.
Yeah.
Um, I think that while love is the stuff or the answer that really is what many problems require. I guess it's something that can't be outsourced. You can't get it from an outside source. You have to be able to find it, and then eventually you get to a place where you're presented with a war zone, and you're loving in the war zone because
Yeah.
you've been there and you've dealt with it. And yeah, to hear that that's your style is fantastic. Oh, and the other thing you touched on is understanding. Is you give them understanding, you give them the picture of how is zoomed out, as simplistic as possible, and that's kind of like teaching them how to fish versus giving them the fish. And that's what I hope and trust that the theory does, is it just is a much more distilled understanding of how what a mental disorder, what a mental illness looks like, and how
Yeah,
to get
absolutely.
out of it. It's like I can hand you the solution, and that's it'll chemically alter your brain in a pill, or I could say this is how it works, and have fun finding the solution, because it really is looks different for everybody.
I think that's why I'm so interested in neuroscience is there, solutions are different for everyone, but there is, at a neurological and biological level, we all sort of run on the same programming. You could have
Right.
been, raised not so great. You could have been raised pretty well. At the end of the day, these things that happen to you have some some similar effects on your your neurological makeup, your biological makeup,
Hmm.
and how you adapt and change to these things, which I just find really interesting. Like sort of to your point, I can give you the solution, and it will alter you know how you think about things or how you do things. But I would much rather tell you these are the steps that you can take to find the solution. Now you make your own path to that solution, you know? Find your own lane, find your own path, and you get to the solution now having the knowledge of these are the steps that I can take or these are the things that are happening.
Yep. And it's very much. I think I touched on this on our episode that failed, but
Mm,
when I send someone a song and I say, "Hey, check this song out I just made," it doesn't resonate as much as if somebody had clicked on it on their own accord, and it's kind of like forcing someone to do something. The universe is going to push back anytime you're forcing something. Um,
absolutely.
and while I think that like so I just need to love. That's it. I think that's an oversimplification of kind of what I've presented, but I do like to say to your point that what love looks like and what it means is slightly different for all of us, but the force that pulls us to connection, integration, repair is the exact same for all of us.
Absolutely.
So I love cheese, and cheese could pull you to fragmentation, but cheese pulls me to coherence.
Right,
So
right.
it's finding the common ground, the least common denominator, and you can teach someone how to fish. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's more power in it to your point of, you can send it to someone or they can find it. I think there's more power in the finding. I think too
Yes.
often in life we're given these things and there's no real challenge to it, so there's no real lesson behind it. You've sort of,
Yes. Yes. I've been thinking about this because we're in this spot now where we think everything's kind of solved and done, and to me, we're still looking through that keyhole of a massive, massive door, and we don't know how to fish because we are kind of, in one lens, we're very advanced. I mean, pull someone from the 20s and they would shit their pants if they
right?
saw the stuff that we had. But
Yeah,
if you go another 100 years, we would shit our pants, and yes, teaching them how to fish is where the value is, 100%.
absolutely. Yeah.
All
I
right.
think there's real value. And it's unfortunate. I think we're in a place now, especially with, the integration of AI and sort of really the internet, the the challenge of the lesson is being
Yes,
slowly removed, and the
I would
resilience
agree.
of the challenge.
I think that it presents different stuff. There's problems, but it also presents a lot of solutions. So I think it's a net positive. But I think what you're referring to is that I've got this problem and I'm going to sit with it and I'm going to process it, and then it came to me. Or I can just ask ChatGPT. Uh, I think that it's a net positive. I'm willing to debate you on that, but I mean, if you disagree,
No, I do think I think it's positive, especially in terms of sort of our ability to learn through that if you're using it sort of correctly. I think my only sort of caveat to that is when I think back to maybe my parents and having to do a research paper, going to the library, sitting down, reading the books over and over to get to the facts, there's a certain level of I did it, I made it happen.
hmm
Whereas now it's just like, okay, I got it. And there's
yes,
no real
yeah.
like, you know,
No, I
which,
got you. Yeah, continue.
well, I was just going to say, which is not necessarily bad. I think I'm sure that if we were to talk to our parents about what it was like to go to the library and sit down and have to read the books, they'd be like, "Oh my
Uphill
God, it was
both
terrible."
ways.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I think that there is. I see a lot of the times like it's replaced thinking for a lot of people, and what I like to say, and this is kind of half a joke because I don't believe it, but I like to tell people the people that are using AI to think weren't thinking before AI, and the people that use it and are still thinking have kind of been supercharged. So
yeah,
if you're thinking, I mean, it's gonna be an amplification of your thoughts. It's gonna be someone to bounce off of. And when my wife is like, "Please shut up about love. I'm done," I can go talk to ChatGPT because it's never sick of it.
right. Absolutely,
Not to shy away from the other AIs. I know there's a lot of them. Um,
Yeah,
I just found ChatGPT to be the best, at least right now, for my use.
right. Yeah, I have it's funny when ChatGPT first came out, and this is sort of telling on myself. I was using it for everything. For everything.
I think everyone goes through that, and it's like a cycle or it's like a stage of Chat GPT, and
Right.
you see when someone else is in that stage of like, oh, they've just found it and they fucking have fallen in love with it,
Yeah.
and I asked them a simple question and they're sending four M dashes back. I'm like, okay, I'll give you your space, but you
Yeah.
gotta respect it because we were there,
Yeah.
but continue.
Yeah, I think I learned I maybe did that for a month or two. And then to your point, I started feeling like, hold on. I am not even using my own my own knowledge, my own brain, my own
Yes.
ability to think. I'm putting it all on, all on ChatGPT.
But
And
now
it
it's a
did.
choice, though. Now it's a choice, and now it's I don't want to do that. GPT
Yeah.
do it, and then now I can go. This is something that I want to tackle. Or ChatGPT is really. I mean, if you think about the theory of love, I would ask ChatGPT about love, and it would go on about the triangle, and it was clueless. And I tried so hard, I still haven't gotten it. It needs to maybe the next version it'll have hopefully it'll integrate my theory, but I finally got Gemini to do it. But
There you go.
you ask it about love, and it's like compassion, romance, and whatever that triangle is from Sternberg. Um,
Right.
but I kind of like every time I talk to it, I have to be like, read this, and then it'll be like, oh, actually, wow, that's
Right.
so
Retraining it, yeah.
yeah. You can basically all that to say. There's points where your thinking has kind of gone beyond the collective, and that's where the value is really. So it's
Yeah.
yeah. So what do you use it
Absolutely.
for now? Like what's
So
your
I use Claude. I'm a
okay?
big fan of Claude. Um, and I'm typically going on there just to like verify or get a second opinion on um, my own interpretation of sort of these neuroscience studies that I've found myself in, where I'll read something, I'll internalize it, I'll have my own sort of working of it and how it makes sense to my mind, and then I'll just ask Claude, hey, you know, neuroplasticity, for example. Hey, this is what I think about neuroplasticity and how it can affect the mind or whatever. Does this resonate with you, or do you think that this is something that would make sense for others to hear? Is there a better way that I can frame this
Yeah. Yeah.
to have it be more impactful?
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, and I think this is maybe sort of just the AI model, oftentimes I'm met with, no, this sounds great. I think it would be impactful. I think it can make sense. Typically, when I get an answer like that, then I'll call one of my good friends and say, hey, you know, I just did some
Wow.
research. I'm thinking this. If I was to say this to you with no previous knowledge of neuroscience, would this resonate for you? And if he says yes, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm on the right track. If he's like, honestly, dude, like it doesn't make any sense to me, then I revisit, obviously before I
Drawing
post the
board.
video.
Yeah. That
Then I'm
is
like,
great.
okay,
I'm gonna steal that. You've given me that, like calling a friend before you post it is the it's trial running before the post. That's great.
yeah. Now,
Yeah.
and obviously, I don't do that with every post, but in posts where I'm going real heavy into neuroscience or biology and the effects of it, I just want to make sure that what I'm putting out there is going to be valuable
Yeah.
and is going to help somebody. So, I want to make sure, yeah, I'll test run it first. Hey, do you think this would be valuable for you if you were in this place in life? Yeah, I think it would
That's
be.
so
Like,
good.
yeah,
And for me um I don't post too much, and I like to say that I really only post when it, like, I'm sure you can relate to this, when you have something that burns so bright and you are like, I don't need to check the math on this one. I know and I know and I know, and it's going to post. And honestly, some of those don't resonate at all. So maybe it's pride. I don't know what to
right.
classify that, but you know, I like to say if it resonates with me in that realm of it's so burning, I have to post it. I don't care about the optimal time. I don't care about the optimal caption. It's going up, and I'm gonna love the shit out of it. Um, Someone else is gonna love it. I mean, we talked about that in the first one. That one
Yeah.
person that finds it is gonna it's gonna go right home.
A lot of the videos that I find myself posting, more recently are personal to my situation and sort of where I'm at because I sort of have this idea of like, this has helped me so tremendously today that it would be a disservice to not share it.
Uh
Now,
huh.
obviously, there have been
Yeah.
some videos where, I have an idea and I'm like, hey, be nice to each other and speak nicely to each other. And I'm post it because, just
That's
because, yeah, be nice to
self-evident.
each other.
Yeah.
But there are some videos where I really do feel like I cannot keep this to myself. This has pulled me out of a hole today, and I need to throw someone else this ladder. Um,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
that's really the videos that, like you're saying, sort of fire me up. In fact, I have a video in the pipeline right now. I haven't posted it yet, but
Let's
um,
go. Give us the details, dude.
it's
Give
so
us the
good.
early
So
one.
I saw this quote that, man, it fired me up. I say it in my video. I'm like, dude, I'm fired up right now.
Okay, what is
So
it? I love it.
I'm not overly religious. I do believe that there is some higher power out there, and there's some sort of divine intervention that happens. Um, this quote is pretty religious, but it still fired me up so much. It said, "Heavenly Father, bear witness as I show you the strength of your creation." And
That's
boy,
good.
oh
Yeah.
boy, when I read that, whoo, I was fired up because I felt like, you know what? And for me, it's, like universe, creator of the universe, higher power. But I really felt like, you know what? Yeah, bear witness to the
Yep.
strength of what you've created.
So
And
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that goes for people like yourself with the theory of love. Like it's almost like a bear witness to the power of what I've created or what I'm doing,
Yeah, yeah. And that's I try not to. I mean, I obviously I want to own the creation because I created it. I mean, it's my baby, but I don't. I feel like we have this tendency as human beings to kind of put someone on a pedestal, and that's how I feel about religion. I don't hate anyone religious. I don't hate religion. I hate the idea that there's someone above and there's someone below, because the moment you put someone up, there's someone beneath. And if there is a creator, because you brought this up and we haven't talked about it yet, if there is a creator, which, I mean, chicken or the egg, and it's all nonsense. There's probably someone who started this whole thing.
Right.
Um, that wouldn't make him above me, and he wouldn't put someone below him, or her, or whatever that entity is. To me, it's all love, and love doesn't care what your name is or stuff like that. And I think
Yeah.
that's where the direction of kind of religion is moving, is in the sense of, okay, religion got a lot right, and it's a very powerful tool. And I think religion and science are kind of going to meet at this point of like, okay, this is what it is. But it's a route that a lot of people take, and it's just I watch it, extreme people, and that's what I really don't like about it. But someone online said like I could go extreme with a spoon and I could murder you with a spoon, like we're not going to get rid of all spoons. And I'm like, it's a good point,
Yeah.
it's so religion really is not the problem. It's I don't know, it's a difficult topic, but I have much respect for anyone who chooses to be religious, just so yeah.
I think it provides a lot of people inner peace, and maybe they're, you know, externalizing that the peace that they need. The video that I just recently posted, that I really, again, back to like being fired up about a video. This one really fired me up because it felt so deeply personal. Um, Essentially, I equated inner peace to being on an airplane when there's turbulence. It's really tough to be calm and be willing to close your eyes and try to take a nap on a plane when it's shaking and you are nervous that it's going to fall out of the sky. However, there is a sense of trust in the plane and in the
Mm-hmm.
pilot
Mm-hmm.
to navigate this turbulence. So for myself, my inner peace is I'm the plane, I'm the pilot. And amid the storm, I'm going to trust myself to get myself out of the storm. And through that, I'm
Yes.
able to find peace in moments of chaos or turmoil where I just say, okay, we're shaking in the sky, but we can get through this because we were built to get through this.
Yep.
And it
Yeah.
it it, it gives me peace in knowing, okay, this is just a storm. That's all it
Yes.
is. It's just a
That's
storm.
that's really good, and you tried to bring it up before we hit record, and I was like, please, Colin, stop. I want this to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I'm glad I heard it because I forgot about it already. But
Yeah.
I there is something there, and I hear a lot of the times like people say like you cast your fears onto him, and you know you're basically saved from that entropy.
Sure.
Um, that quickly for me becomes it's kind of like hope versus trust, where you're praying, and you can just if you took it upon yourself, you wouldn't need the prayer, and it's like outsourcing your whatever,
Yeah.
outsourcing something. It can all come from you, and that's where I think the holes lie. But it a lot for a lot of people. It is deeply personal, and it is obviously thrust upon us in childhood. It was for me, so I can relate. And I did have times when I was rude and arrogant and ignorant to people who were religious, because I mean, you look at a war and you're like, oh my God, religion, and then so naturally I'm going to want to attack it. But really, it's like the murderer thing, where if you murder a murderer, you didn't do anything. So
Right.
um, yeah, so I've kind of stepped back a little bit, but I obviously I have my opinion on religion, and um, yeah. But I'm glad we talked about that. I'm really glad that came up, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting, you know, discussion, interesting debate. And for me, it goes into, you know, being, yeah, I mean, sort of what you're saying, outsourcing but finding your peace. And, not everyone has the ability to, well, let me not say that. I think everyone has the ability to find their inner peace. For some people, it's harder to find that
Yes.
peace or to
Yeah.
find that hope or trust, or
And it's
especially in
very
moments of,
powerful. It's a very powerful tool to do that when a lot of people's reality or environment is actually not great, and when you can kind of cast upon this, don't worry about these people. It's nothing in the bigger picture. I am significant. I am. That is really powerful. But please continue.
well, to your point, especially with the theory of love, like, I think that as religion is sort of this piece of people's lives, this knowledge of there is an all loving, all encompassing love out there, I think provides a lot of comfort, because sort of like you keep saying, there's love and then there's the absence of love. if people are struggling with the absence of love in a real way, for those people, it might be nice to know that there is something larger than themselves that cares for and loves them. And if
Yeah.
that, and this is the
Yeah.
thing, if that gets you through the next day, if that makes you stay here for at least another sunrise,
Yeah, it works for me
do it,
too. Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And so on that, I was thinking about this. I really I'm trying to get to like how it came to be, because I get that question a lot of how did this theory come to be, and the idea, I like to say, struck me like a lightning bolt. But it was an obsession of mine that kept reoccurring, and I couldn't shake it. And my dogs, my two golden retrievers, played a huge role in the theory. And if you think about where dogs came from, they came from wolves, and now they're these really cute balls of love. It's a really great way to show the direction of the universe. And yes, it that is how I found my peace, was knowing that love is not this sentimental romantic thing that is sold to you by a company. Like some people, honestly, some people think that. Very sad, and I'm working on it. But it really is a law of if there's a future, it bends to the rule of love. And that to me is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, personally. Yeah.
There's a quote from Ethan Hawke, I believe. I think it's doing its rounds online right now, but it's something to the effect of the person in love always wins. If you're acting out
Hmm.
of love, if you're creating out of love, if you're, connecting out of love, even if it's not romantic, love always will win. It's
Yes.
it's a universal language that people crave and people need, and to be safe in a place of love is such a powerful, not only emotion, but like biologically, neurologically,
It's the
the
force, man. It's the force
yeah,
that that it, that we all use. Yeah.
it can change your entire life in being in this place of secure love, and to your point too, sort of the absence of that love as well can also
It's an
change your entire.
opportunity. It's if you look at the absence of love, which I like to say is always looks like fear, and we talk about that all the time. It's a gift to place love where it isn't. That's kind of like where all the opportunity in the world lives. If love was in every inch, every crevice, yes, it would be amazing, and I think that's where we're going. But we can make such an impact today. You can be someone amazing in a heartbeat. And I say this about um, airplanes, because we were talking about airplanes before. You can't pee in the front of the plane unless you buy a first class ticket. And I like to say that we're waiting for our Rosa Parks of the sky. And
Mm,
that was nearly me, but my wife, apparently, I found this out like years later, she talked the pilot and the flight attendant out of like put me on a do not fly list. But I would have loved to be the guy who got banned from, who refused to
right,
get up from the bus. Like,
right.
but the world basically is waiting for someone to love in the face of fear. And we got, Renee, Alex, they did it, and unfortunately it cost them their life. But they will never die. I mean, the legends will never die like them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what's so powerful about, like you said, loving in the face of fear, is there's real power to that, because I think a lot of people love maybe out of fear, not in the face
Yes.
of,
Yeah.
but out of fear.
Hmm.
Um, Making the choice to love in the face of fear, dealing with the consequences that can come because of that, is such a powerful place to be in life. And to your point, the ability to share that with others is profoundly important and incredibly impactful, especially to those people who are really, really needing it. I think we all need love. I think there are people
Yes.
who desperately need that absence, not filled, but, you know, taken away a bit,
Uh
at
huh.
least.
Yes.
in small fragments, to know that it will be okay. I think that's really powerful, to be able to sit with someone, share a bit of your love with them, and let them know, like, it's really hard right now and
Hmm.
it sucks. And I know it sucks, but I'm here for you right now. I'm sitting with you and I'm willing to be here with you right
And
now.
that's typically all they need.
Yeah,
Just a little, and now we're describing CBT, or behavioral therapy.
right,
And I obviously I have a diss track on therapy, which I love. But that is what therapy is. It's therapy equals love, and I don't like it because it 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 charges by the hour, and love doesn't do that. Um, but there are instances where, you know, a lot of people tell me therapy saved my life, and stuff like that, and I'm really happy that you're still here and therapy did that for you. But when someone it doesn't work for, it's like therapy, med, I guess that's it. And that's what I think where the problem lies, not in the therapists that are doing everything they can to be like, I love you, don't leave, and we love you. Uh, yeah, I have a song coming out that says, it's called Tenfold, and it's it's lifting as you climb. It's lifting someone else when you climb. And in the song, there's a line that says, "When you give, you get. That's the secret rhyme. Lift as you climb." And that so love is really best given. And we always think about it in like, I'm receiving love and it feels great. I tell people, when you give a gift, it's 10 times better feeling than when you get a gift. When you get a gift, it's like feels dirty, and I know I gotta give you something.
right.
But that's the way the universe is coded. We are made to love. We are made to give. We are made to help. I like to think of us kind of like ants, um, working for the colony. And if there's nothing to work on, we're like, what are we, So yeah.
Yeah, I think that, loving, and I think this is really important. This is something that I have found in my life. And it took me a while to get here. Like, it took me a very long time to understand that to love with expectation is not really the purest form of love.
Hmm.
If you're loving with the expectation that someone is going to love you the same way, inevitably you're going to end up hurt and you're going to resent that person for not doing it.
Yes,
Being able to
100%.
love without expectation and share yourself freely and wholeheartedly with others is the purest form of love, and it protects you as well. You no longer have this emotional tie to what you think you're giving or
Hmm.
what you feel you should receive in return. It's just, no, you need this right now, and I'm going to share it with you, and you don't have to pay me back.
Yep, it's
If you
that's
want
to
to pay
me
me
that's the
back,
only version. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's the only way it's given. And when you're expecting something back, that's a transaction. That's not love. That's a and that's a quid pro quo, as we say.
right,
Um,
right,
but I'm so glad you brought that up, because it reminded me of being in high school, and I could not. Obviously, we talked about this a little bit, but it was everyone's mission to be in a relationship. That's all we really cared about. The schooling was the schooling, and we were there to be like, to get the girl and
right,
to find
right,
love. And
right,
that killed, I think, I had one high school girlfriend, and I was not a good boyfriend. I'll just say that. You think that the creator of the theory of love would be the perfect boyfriend, but it took a lot of pressure to make this diamond.
right,
um,
right.
and the expectation killed so much of so much potential, in the sense that I was like, what do you mean you don't love me? I'm here and I'm loving you, and it really is. It's You have to think about how you're loving, and the best way to do that is, I like to say, how you define it is how you live your life. And what is your definition? And if it's a transaction, if it's whatever, it affects you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really goes so much deeper because that, even in platonic friendships, loving with expectation hey, I would be willing to drop everything and come help you move, but I call you and you don't pick up. Well, you have an expectation that they owe you something, and they
Yeah.
don't. If you're friends, then just be friends. And when you place these expectations on people, it creates the resentments that shouldn't really be there,
Yeah,
that
and it's
shouldn't
for
really
someone.
exist.
Exactly. It's for the individual to let go of. And it's for your peace. Don't do it for the other person, do it for yourself. And it's free yourself of this burden that you've created, you know? That is so
Absolutely.
good. I hope we got some good clip in there for that
Yeah,
because I would love to share that. I think that's really good.
right.
Um, I do want to clip that because it's so common. I see this all the time, and really to me that's not love. That's fearing its absence. Like I'm gonna give you something, it's like please give it back to me. And
Yes, yes.
yeah, and love is best given,
Absolutely.
not received.
I think that's a big part of life, not just in love, but in life. Living life with expectations will inevitably hurt you.
Hmm.
There's no avoiding it. You can, because it's even, expectations in a job. You get hired and you think that the job is going to do this thing. And 6 months from then, you realize that it's not doing that thing that you expected. And now you hate the job when you don't need to. You've placed an expectation on this job or on what it could provide for you, and now you're angry that it's not doing something that you made up.
Yeah, I'm so guilty of that. I
Yeah,
could because I know how impactful I can be, and I know how good I am. And you walk in the front door, and everyone's like, "Hey," and you're like, I'm gonna destroy this place. I'm gonna destroy you at the. But they've been doing this shit for way longer than you have. So
right.
it is. I've started a lot of jobs. I'm not gonna lie. My real resume is probably, you know 42 pages at this
Right.
point. Uh, but it is so humbling and it's so healthy to go in there and go, what can I learn? And I can find my place. And that's why I think all the good companies out there really they promote from within. And hearing like, hey, I started where you started is so reassuring. Um,
Absolutely.
if you're just given CEO, the company is a disaster. The CEO has to be made, you know.
Well, that goes back to our original point of, if you're given CEO, you're given a basket full of fish. You never learned how to
Yes,
fish.
right.
You
You
don't
got
understand the intricacies of fishing.
yeah. You don't know what lure to use, and
Right.
eventually you're gonna run out of someone else's fish because you don't
Right.
know how to fish.
Right.
Uh, that is a huge that you'd think that would be common knowledge, but I feel like it's not. I feel like when a company is searching for the next CEO, they're looking for a CEO, and I guess there probably is some overlap. If you've been CEO here, you can be CEO there. But if any companies were listening to this, I would say the CEO is sitting right next to you in the office, probably the best CEO. So promote from
I would
within.
I would say that that's probably true because they know all the work that it goes into being an employee, and now they would operate, the office from a different place.
And every industry has its nuance. And
Sure.
what made that guy Mr. Moneybags at that company, and he comes here and does the same thing, and it's like, oh shit, it's not working.
Right, right.
And so I would say consulting, come in,
Mm.
get someone else's perspective, and then thank you, I got the guy who grinded for it. So yeah.
It's funny when you mentioned that, it made me think about relationships, and the knowledge from one relationship can help you in the next, but the things that worked may not work in the new one.
Yes.
There's learning curves and intricacies to entering new relationships, and with new partners. Some things that worked are not going to work. Some things
Yes.
that didn't work, you've now learned that they didn't work, and you can put into better practice, in this sort of new relationship that you found.
And I think that the best way to do it is to, I guess, start from boot camp again.
Mm,
And I think it's a big thing when you uh, I mean, let's just go full and let's just make this the dating episode or something.
Right.
But like when you go into a relationship, you kind of carry I would hesitate to use trauma because it's not the right word, but you carry this baggage from the previous one, and baggage is not the right word because it implies like you don't want it, but you do have stuff that comes in and affects your next relationship. So really, walking into that job, you know, don't come in like you know any better. Come in as this is fresh. This is a new report card. It doesn't have any of the grades from the last one.
Right.
And I think anything you learn is for, I guess, for you. You know, when you've looked in the mirror and go, when I did this, it didn't work. And I see this a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who had recently gotten out of a relationship, and they were thinking about, asking someone out on a date. And, you hear this all the time, but, I put it into different words for this person just because I thought it would be more helpful. But I just asked them, I said, do you think there's a scab under that Band-Aid? Or do you think that when this person tries to expose that wound, you'll bleed on them again? Like,
wow. Yeah.
do you think that, because you're still wearing a Band-Aid, you still have it on there to prevent the wound from reopening, but do you think it has scabbed up enough to not bleed on this next person? When they remove the Band-Aid and ask you about that wound, are you going to bleed all over them? And if you are,
that's so good. That's such a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
That's wow. Yeah, because I mean, you can't hide the Band-Aid. You can hide the wound, but you can't hide the Band-Aid. Right. That's kind of like what we would call a rebound, or like kind of rushing into it. That's gotten me a million times. We either love or we fear its absence. So, and I don't think it's unhealthy to kind of rush in to another relationship. But if you come in going, I'm gonna bleed all over this next person, then yes, you are setting yourself up for failure.
Absolutely.
And I think just using your analogy, I think, is all I need. Like if I just heard that, that's really all that I need to not bleed on the next person. So thank you for another clip, Collin.
Yeah.
That is so good. Can you say that again? Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Take two's never work.
But I mean, and that has helped me in my own personal life.
Yeah. Give me an anecdote. Like, give me a real.
You may feel secure in the fact that you have this Band-Aid, and maybe you've done some work to patch it up. But until you know, okay, it's definitely closed, and I'll show you the scar because I know it won't reopen,
Right. When you get there, Yeah.
Yeah, and it provides a certain level of closeness and connection too, and your willingness to be vulnerable with this person and say, here are all my scars.
Yeah.
But I've healed them. I just want you to know that I have them,
That's an opportunity to benefit from something that you previously deemed a scar. It's actually it's a trophy or a diamond, if you will. That's really good. I mentioned, I haven't mentioned my relationships, but tell me about your high school dating or growing up. Give me some notable stuff without exposing anyone's names.
Yeah, I mean, so I unfortunately have always had very similar relationships, especially in high school.
But that's not unfortunate. I feel like a lot of people say, like, I know what I want, so maybe you just kind of knew what you wanted earlier than most.
And I've taken tons of lessons. That's the thing, is from these relationships, I have left with a ton of lessons. I myself am a hopeless romantic. So
me too.
If we have a good conversation for a week, I'm sitting back thinking to myself, do I love this person?
Of course, yeah. And love at first sight. Let's start there. Do you believe in love at first sight?
I believe that there is, the love for the beauty. Some people would call it lust, but I wouldn't call it lust, especially at a young age. The love for the beauty of that person sort of initiates the want to get to know the beauty of them deeper.
I disagree. I think how you love I think love is always instant. If and however you define it, is whatever is going to show. So if you're on that, Socrates has a great ladder of love, and I don't know it off the top of my head, but basically it starts as beauty, and then it goes to uh, knowledge, and then I don't know. I guess I'll put up a visual of it, but if love to you is sex with someone else, then you're gonna instantly be into sex. But if you love on like love a soul, then immediately you're gonna know. And to me, that's how it always has worked. I've always
Yeah.
known immediately, I love you. And of course, we don't say it. We hold it back to.
Right.
We don't want to frighten them. But
Right.
continue. Sorry, I just had to get in that
No,
get
yeah,
that in.
yeah. Especially in high school, I had several girlfriends. A couple of them, dated freshman year, and then we separated and found our way back to each other sophomore year.
Really?
Some
Okay.
relationships.
So you broke up with a girl in you dated her ninth grade and then broke up, and then in 10th grade now you're dating again.
Dude, there was a girl, I won't mention her name because I'm sure it would embarrass her, but there was a girl that I dated in middle school and then again in high school, freshman year. We were
Wow.
broken up sophomore year. We dated again junior year.
Wow.
And and
I love this
in my
story.
early 20s, like reconnected, not romantically, but like just
The
casual
love is always
conversation of
there. Yeah.
it's a really interesting thing. I've also had very, very intense, intense love with girls that have lasted 6 months that have left me completely broken that I thought
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to get through this.
Mm-hmm.
And through those experiences, learned my own resilience or learned what I was looking for out of love. I had a very long-term relationship that I thought was going to be forever.
Mm-hmm.
And you build your life around what you think this
But
person.
that's an expectation.
Well, touche, my friend, touche.
Well, you
And
just
like
taught
we
me
said,
those, so
inevitably your expectations
yeah.
end up, hurting.
And it's not a failure either, Colin. We talked about this last time. It's not a failure. It's think of it as growth. You guys grew as people, and now you can go off on your own and grow even more. And you
Right.
might find each other because you never stop loving someone. We just find something else that we love even more.
That's true. I
Yeah.
think that that's a really powerful sentiment. And if you really love someone, like truly, truly, truly love someone, that will never go away. You can you can shove it down and you can try to avoid it as much as you want, but being so deeply connected to another person will never go away.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, yeah, just you find somewhere else to sort of place that love and you go on from there. But there is, I mean, even now, like I would be lying if I said that there weren't, some girls from high school where I'm like, if they texted me, I would probably answer,
The
like
phone works both ways, Colin. I encourage you. Next episode, I'm going to ask you how many
pull the
high
phone out
school
and call
friends
them.
color right now.
Right.
I think that you had something really special, and you still do. I mean, you still have something really special, and I think that it's so awesome to hear that you broke up and you got back together. I mean, people see that as like people see that normally I think as a failure in a sense they're like, oh, it didn't work. They're trying it again. Those guys are clueless. But love doesn't care about a history. It doesn't care about failure because it's not a failure. It's you've fallen out of love, but it doesn't really exist. You found it again. Think about it as finding love again instead of going at it the wrong way again.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, all of those experiences have informed the person that I am today, the way that I interact and speak to people, or, the expectations that are placed on people for longevity or the love that will be received back. All of that has helped me understand that, a lot of the things that we've talked about in this discussion is just, you know, a, a lot of people use the word loss, and I really,
Yes.
I don't, I understand it, but I really don't love it because you may have lost maybe physically this person, you separate and they go somewhere else, but you've gained so much more than you've lost. Number one, in the relationship, you gained the love and you gained the connection and you gained the security. And when that leaves, you've now gained all of the lessons that you learned in that relationship. And as much as it sucks, you've learned all the lessons that potentially caused the end of that relationship. And now you're moving through life a scholar of this relationship. You're
It's still
now,
with you. Yeah, it's like a
yeah,
loved one that is no longer with us. They are everything they are is within you now, and you
absolutely.
can love someone brighter now. And
Absolutely.
yes, and I hate that word loss. I mean, you didn't lose them. You grew together, and now you're doing it in separate parts on this rock that we call
Right.
Earth. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only way that I would ever accept the word loss when it comes to a friendship or a relationship or even a job is just like the physical separation. Yes, you have physically lost your connection to this person. Besides that, there are so many more things and so much deeper lessons and knowledge that you have actually gained.
Hmm.
It's like when you pay tuition at a college. Okay, you lost your $50,000 tuition fee, but look at everything that you gained from the loss of that $50,000.
And money grows on trees, and
Right, right.
I guess so does knowledge, really. But yes, it's you've lost the physical money, but it's that I dare I say it's not even a physical loss either, because love is a force to me that moves through space and it moves through time, and it doesn't care how far you are.
Yeah,
It really
that's true.
doesn't.
I mean, I've seen instances because I'm on threads all the time. I'm like a second job. And I see people all the time who are posting these videos who are like, my husband and I separated for 10 years, lived in different states, and we're getting married next week.
Wow, that's
And
awesome.
it's, while that is like, definitely inspirational and hopeful for people who are going through divorce or loss or breakup, it shows your point that love does not care of distance, boundaries, time. Love is will always be there,
Love is a
and
motherfucker, dude. It
if
is.
it
It
ain't,
is.
if it ain't, yeah,
Yeah, and it doesn't care what your name is, how much money you have. Um, it's the verdict that you cannot overrule. It's a law that we all follow.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's I like to say that I just lost it. Okay,
There it
where were
goes.
you, Colin? Give it. It's gone. It's in the air now.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Just talking about love, not caring time, distance, money, name,
Thank you.
age.
Yes. I still don't have it. Let's move on.
That happens, and you know what? You've given the gift of that thought to the world now. Someone else will receive it. You
You're
know.
right. Someone is gonna catch it and be like, "I'm gonna thread this." Then I'd be like, "You didn't quote me. Excuse me."
Right. Absolutely.
It's funny. I said on Substack, which I tried, and then I was like, whatever. Um,
Right.
I said we too often we quote the dead and we plagiarize the living.
Mm,
Like when you see someone else, you're like, oh, I'm gonna say that, and but you didn't quote them, but like that's who you should be quoting. Like you can plagiarize the dead, but don't plagiarize the living because they'll see it.
right. That's a pretty profound thought. Like, hey, they're still here to get the credit. Give them their credit.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But to me, the whole universe is open source, and everything else is just some rules that someone created.
I,
Um,
I would agree with that.
Disney would not. They almost took my channel off the internet.
Disney definitely would not. Disney is their own world.
Let me tell you about that because I've been wanting to tell someone. I so movie clips or movie whatever, they post clips of their movie, and sometimes they're not the best quality, and sometimes like they cut at the wrong time, like, oh, you cut off the best part. So I started like kind of filling in the gaps on YouTube of like, you know, if I added a fade out, or like I uploaded it kind of in lossless or 4K
Right.
instead, and that's really where you don't want to be, because now you're competing with their video, and you're
Right.
at 3 a.m. I got 2 copyright strikes from Warner Bros. And
Wow.
yes, if they did a third, done. It would have been I would
Yeah.
have been gone. Um,
Wow.
so Warner Bros does not screw around. Don't yeah, don't do that.
That's so interesting.
And
I,
you
you
have
know,
to
it's
make a YouTube. You need to make a YouTube, Colin.
yeah. I have spent a lot of time thinking, oh, I don't know if because a lot of my content is short form.
It's YouTube
One,
Shorts. The YouTube
yeah,
Shorts would love you.
it's true. I
And
may
it's
have to
something that
now.
I've been trying to get into, because I'm in love with long form. I love long form. I want the video there, but shorts is kind of like, they say it's like a funnel for your long form. They're
Mm,
not really, but YouTube Shorts is great. If you post something, YouTube will push it. They'll try it out for you. It's
yeah,
wonderful.
I might have to get on that. Maybe I'll spend the rest of my day today. You're gonna see in the next 2 weeks, you're gonna go onto YouTube, you're gonna be like, this guy uploaded 150 videos? Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
With shorts, I feel like it's okay.
Yeah,
Shorts is kind of a I would even say it's almost a volume game.
yeah,
Because if you think about how algorithms work now, it's they don't just go, Colin uploaded five. Here's five. They kind of place it in someone's lap when they need it, or when they
yeah,
they think they would like to see it. So if you
yeah.
post three posts, I'm not going to get Colin's not just going to destroy my feed. I'm going to get a little
It's
Colin, then a little Colin, then a little Colin.
I follow someone on Instagram who very much is like volume oriented. I went on Instagram this morning, just to see what's happening in the world, and it gave me a notification that this person had posted 25 videos, just
Yeah.
back to back to back to back to
How,
back to
and
back
and
to
what
back.
time frame? 25 and
Oh, dude, all within like an 8 hour period of just like,
wow. Were they like solid?
yeah, they were great. They were great. But the thing
Wow.
about the videos that this person posts is they're anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds. So I think
Okay.
typically what this creator is doing is setting up their phone and boom, 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 here's a point,
Oh,
upload.
then
Boom,
cutting
boom,
it.
boom, here's
Yeah,
a point,
okay.
upload,
Right.
Um, which seems to have worked for them. But, sort of what you were saying, like I I was not inundated by 25 new
Right.
videos.
The algorithm
Y-
knows when to give it to you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
The thing for me is that when I do that, I mean, naturally you're just gonna get sloppy. And what I like to do is give someone like 6 years, and I can look back on all of them and smile, and not go, I wasn't just punching, because yeah, volume does work. I mean, it's almost like a quality and a quantity game at this point, because there's a lot of competition. But I think quality always works, and quantity sometimes. Um,
That's my that's my
yeah.
real focus because I've had people say to me, "Dude, you could make 5 videos out of this one 2 minute video." But I'm like, "Yes, but this needs to be a 2 minute video. Like, I'm
Right.
not
Yeah.
I don't want to clip
Yeah.
this up. The value is in hearing it all together, not
Yeah.
just 30
And
seconds
that's
of
that goes against what every rule will tell you is, ChatGPT has told me, like, leave this video unresolved. Don't give him the I'm like, shut up, GPT. I'm not doing that. I'm giving it to him resolved.
it.
But
Right.
leaving it unresolved is the secret there is I'm going to click on your channel because I want the answer. And now I'm
Mm,
going to subscribe. Now I'm going to be engaged in your other stuff, and I'm going to comment, what the hell is this? And it's to me, that's like the tapping into the fear. It's fast, it's quick, but it extinguishes eventually.
yeah,
It's love wins every single time by staying connected and being patient and never giving
absolutely.
up. Yeah.
Providing that value. That's really what I feel. As strange as it is to say, like every single person that comments on like a longer form video of mine, I have genuine love for, because it's like
Right. Yeah.
I'm so happy that number one you sat and watched the video, but I'm really happy that you found what you needed in this video. Like I couldn't ask for anything more. I think
Yes.
sort of like the driving attention thing feels really disingenuous. Like you're sort of just
Yes,
driving
it's
clicks, you
it's
know?
it's clicks in return, and it's a trade for like your I don't want to say brand or your reputation. You're trading your reputation for more engagement, and and sometimes that trade is worth it in the grand scheme of whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're trying to make money on videos, absolutely post the rage bait, and it's going to
Right,
work, and you'll make money. But if
right,
you really, that person that's going to look back or click on your channel for the first time and look back at your content, you're just another guy making money, and that's cool. I mean, it's if that's what you want to do, cool. But the real, I guess, the real world changing stuff is in that slow burning video that someone who needed it stumbled upon it, and it gave them everything they needed, and now they
yeah,
love you.
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, well, I feel like that's a good place to stop. Um, what do you think, Colin? Oh,
Um,
internet problems.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we'll cut this out. Don't worry. Is it me? Colin, you need to be on Ethernet. It's going to be a requirement for the role.
I know.
You get an email from HR, just make sure your Ethernet's hooked up.
Right.
Well, I think that's a great place to stop. We crushed it. I think
Yeah,
that was an awesome episode. Um,
absolutely.
and I don't have a raging echo because I'm wearing headphones. But thank you, Colin. I'm speaking directly to you when I say this. Thank you for co-hosting with me. You're exactly what I was picturing and wanted, and I got it. So
It
thank
is a
you.
pleasure. It is a pleasure.
And we'll see everyone next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Theory of love, steady and true, holding the world the way that it moves. Theory of love echoes in the past, all that we are lives in the past.